Hello. I'm testing this out, so please bear with me. It's a little weird because there's a delay in the video from when I'm speaking. But hello, Shelly Smith. Let's see. So I'm planning on working on some whips. I don't know what I'm going to work on. I think I'm going to do my tried and true August Peridot Fairy. So, is that the right one? Yeah. So that one goes over there. All right. So feel free to ask questions, should you have any. It's all kind of weird. The delay has me kind of, I don't know, messed up or something. I'm not used to seeing a delay. I'm used to watching me like exactly on time as I'm recording the videos. So this is a little weird. Well, since I haven't done a video in a while, before I start working on my whips, I should show my purchases real quick. So, I just got this past weekend. It's the Just Cross Stitch 2017 Halloween. I bought it, well, one, it's Halloween and I like Halloween, but I bought it because of this cover photo. So there's that. And then bought a bunch of stuff from, is it in here? Oh, that's empty. From 123 Stitch. I just stuck it all over here so I could show. So, I think that's it in this one. Yeah, that's just my receipt. So, what I bought more of those Peacemaker tapestry needles. They're amazing. I bought two the first time a while ago, and this time I went ahead and picked up 3 more packages because I feel you can never have too many needles. Please let me know if the audio is okay. I have it set up so it'll connect to my mic, but I don't know if it's working as it should be. But there's those, and then I bought this Prairie Schooler double. I think I saw Mortuary Stitches stitching this one. Actually, yes, I did see her stitching it because I remember the little lizard and then the 2 witches. So I decided to start using it, or start stitching it. I haven't started it yet, but I at least have the pattern now. And then I bought the Prairie Schooler Night Flight, which is an awesome one, with a witch kind of flying in the sky, and then the little town, and it's got a little bat right here. I just thought that was super cute. So I figured I needed to pick that up. And then I bought another Prairie Schooler. They had a sale, 123 Stitch. I don't know if it's still going on. but some of their Prairie Schoolers were on sale. So I picked up this one. It's a Santa Claus. Doesn't have a name. It's just from 2006. It's their 2006 Santa. Good. I'm glad the sound is good. First time doing this whole thing, I had to download an encoding software and whatever. Anyway, then the last, and this should come as no surprise, especially with my recent love of Mirabilia. I picked up Nora Corbett's GG. It's a Bewitching Pixie. It doesn't use a whole lot of floss. It's only got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15 colors of DMC, and then 2 Krynics. Or no, sorry, 1 Krynic, and then you mix the Krynic with one of the DMCs. I haven't bought the DMC threads for it yet, but I did get the called for fabric, except I'm not doing the linen. They request, the called for was 32 count milk chocolate linen, but then the alternate was 16 count milk chocolate Ada. So I bought the 16 count milk chocolate Ada. I mean, it's a pretty big piece. Yeah. So there's that. So she's gonna go on there. And I'm excited. I did get the number 4 braid that it called for in the Krynic, as well as all the little beads. So it's got quite a few beads. Not very many for Nora. It only calls for 5 of them, it looks like. But I'm hoping I'll start her soon. I don't need to. I should probably not, because yes, I've heard that the witches are addictive. So I'm concerned because she's got so many of them that I'm going to end up buying them all. But they're pretty, and they're similar to my August Peridot Fairy, and August Peridot Fairy is stitching up really quick. So I'm kind of really excited to start. Shelly, you shouldn't be scared to start Nora's patterns. I was for the longest time, and August Peridot Fairy was the one that I wanted for so long, so many years. And I started her, and now I've been bitten by Mirabilia Nora Corbett bug. So she's just awesome. And here's what she's looking like right now. She's going to be the one that I'm going to stitch on for this little stream. So she's coming along quite nicely. Stitches up really quick, so I'm really excited to start the GG Bewitching Pixie because she's going to probably come along really quick. So I highly recommend that you do start a Nora. They're beautiful patterns, and they seem to stitch really quick. But that's my 2 cents on the whole thing. So I don't know. I figure I'll just stitch and you guys can ask questions if you want to. I gotta get it set up here so I can see what I am doing. Now, I will say some of the symbols look similar, and so you do have to pay attention. On August Peridot Fairy, this kind of lighter green area in her wing was actually supposed to be two different colors. There's one that's a blend of the lightest and the medium, and then the other was supposed to be just the lightest color. But the symbols were so close that I didn't pay attention, and I did it all as the blended. I'm not upset by my decision to do that, because by the time I noticed, I didn't want to frog everything out and fix it. So I figured I'd just keep it the way it was. Because to me it looks beautiful. You can't really tell. And unless you tell somebody like I am now that you messed up, nobody will be the wiser. So I figure, why not stitch on this live stream, right? So you guys can ask questions. Yes, you can stitch them on Aida. All of my Mirabilias. So August Peridot was my first one, and I started her on Aida. This is a 14 count oatmeal Aida. I went in and I used my water soluble marker to draw in my grid lines, and it's working very well. The one thing I will say on the 14 count, you will need to use 3 strands. So with this blend, I blend 2 of the light color, 1 of the darker color. And that seems to work really well to get this beautiful coverage. I'm kind of a perfectionist, and I like super coverage. So the 3 strands seems to work the best, in my opinion. So that's my little 2 cents. The 16 count Aida, I'll probably only use 2 strands, but I haven't ever worked on 16 count Aida, so I'm going to play with that, and I will let you guys know as soon as I know. But yeah, I was kind of a rebel. I haven't seen anybody else on Flosstube do a Nora Corbett or a Mirabilia on Aida, and I decided I was going to be a rebel. August Peridot Fairy called for the milk chocolate linen or 16 count Aida, but I didn't want to do it on milk chocolate. I wanted her on this oatmeal, and I think she looks a lot better on the oatmeal. So keep asking me some questions. I don't know how long I'm going to take this or do this. It's all still new to me, so we'll go with it, right? But I love it. It makes it a lot easier, because then you don't really have to think, 2 over 2, 2 over 2, 2 over 2. I gotta go up 2, over 2, up 2, over 2. And it kind of takes the guesswork. That's why I did the water-soluble marker. So then I only have to count up to 10. And that makes things so much easier. I will say, and this goes for linen as well, or even weaves, I like to work kind of in a grid-like fashion. So I'll show you here what I mean. So right down here where I'm working, I just covered it up. Right here where I'm working, I'm only working up to this grid line until I get down to here. This is the bottom of the front page. So I'm going to work down to here, and then I'm going to go over and do 2 more. So a total of 20. But when I'm doing it, I like to stagger my stitches where I can. And that makes it so you don't get a harsh line, because the harsh line you can actually see. So, and then the longer line that I have here, that finished out the black on that line, and there wasn't any more close to it, so I figured I'd just do that. Same thing here, Jackie, or Jax, sorry, my contacts are messing up. I only like to use Ada primarily, because my eyes, for whatever reason, when I'm trying to use something else, it feels like I go cross-eyed. I tried using a 32 count on Raven Queen. I've got a Mirabilia Raven Queen, and the 32 count, I mean, I felt like I was going cross-eyed and I couldn't do it. And I don't have the patience to sit and sew in my grid lines, and there's not an easy way to use the water-soluble marker. And then here in Kansas City, even though we're not a small town, pretty much the only thing you can get is, I think they have mushroom even weave, white even weave, then they have like a burlap kind of even weave, and then Ada. And they sell a lot of this light oatmeal Ada, and that's my favorite. Without ordering, but when I ordered Bewitching Pixie, I think that one was on sale too, so I figured I did like the way she looked on the milk chocolate on the cover photo. It kind of adds to the spookiness, if you will. So I did order that from 123 Stitch, and it got here really quick. The cloth, I think it only took like a week or something to get here. So I liked the cover photo on that one, so that's why I ordered that. Otherwise, I stick to my oatmeal. And then hello to Cross Stitch Gal and Orietta Stitches. Hello! I agree, Jax. It is a whole lot easier to count your stitches on Ada. It takes that guesswork out of, you know, going over 2 and up 2 and whatever. I have seen dyed Ada online, and I've seen people dyeing their own, and I thought about trying that, but I'm kind of a wimp. I'm kind of scared, kind of a wimp, kind of nervous to do that, but maybe one day, who knows. So I don't know. For now, I'll just stick to my oatmeal for most of my projects, and then if I want something else, I'll buy it online and go that route. But we'll see. I'm hoping, and I wanted to get August Peridot Fairy completed by my birthday, but that's not going to happen. Things at work have been kind of crazy. Probably the last couple of weeks, and then the last week has been so intense that I just haven't had too much time to work, or any time to update my Instagram. So for those that follow me on Instagram, I apologize. I haven't posted in quite a while. I'm kind of the same way, Northern Stitcher. The highest count I'd be comfortable with would be like an 18 count Ada. 32 count, if it was a smaller project and not a Mirabilia, I think I would be okay. But because I tried it with a Mirabilia, it was horrible for some reason. Everything kind of ran together and I just couldn't follow along. But I agree. I have worked on 18 count for ornaments and things, and that works. Primarily for the larger pieces of fabric here in Kansas City, close by to me. I'm in like North Kansas City basically, and the higher end, or the bigger pieces of like Ada, they only offer in 14 count. So if you want something else, like the milk chocolate that I bought for Gigi, I have to order it online. We technically only have one LNS, and it's about 45 minutes away. We have some that focus on stamped canvas work. And I've gone in and they seem nice, but they seem like they don't want to help me with anything. And you know, when I mentioned that I'm cross stitching, it seems like the shops that cater to the stamped canvas don't want to help, which is fine. I'll just stick to my Michaels, my Joann's, Hobby Lobby, and get all my flosses and things that way, and then anything else I'll just order from 123 Stitch. Thanks, Jax. I do need a break from work just to stitch, and I actually have a vacation coming up. Actually, not next week, but the week after. So I'll work next week, and then I'll be off the entire week after, which is amazing because I'm off Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So when I get off on Thursday next week, I will be off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's going to be an extra long time just to stitch and relax and recuperate and all of that kind of stuff. So I am definitely looking forward to it. Hello everybody that's watching. Bear with me, let me know if you can't hear anything. This is the first time I'm trying out streaming. I figured it might be nice to just have like a little Q&A and session, and we can all stitch together. So I hope you guys are stitching. Relaxing, all of that kind of stuff. Yes, that's kind of why I was thinking doing a live stream, because then it's real time. I don't have to wait, you know, for you guys to watch, and comment, which I love reading the comments. I'm terrible at responding to them. And then on my phone, I can't figure out how to do the little heart thing, like the creator heart that people tell me to do. I can't figure it out on... I don't know where my scissors went. They must be in a bag. But anyway, so I do read the comments, but it feels... I thought it would feel nice to kind of be like we're all sitting around stitching and everything. Yep, I definitely agree, Cross Stitch Gal. It's that same conundrum. When you have the money, you don't have the time, and when you have the time, you don't have the money, right? Nice. I've heard of the pattern, the Nantucket Rose Northern Stitcher, and I think it's beautiful from what I can remember. Yes, it is coming in nicely bearded stitcher. Which is weird because I don't grow facial hair very well. And I went, oh, my boss was on maternity leave for 3 months. And during that 3 months, everything went to hell in a handbasket. And there were a good, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks that I didn't have time to shave. It was like, okay, do I sleep in and get a little more sleep, or do I shave? Well, I'm obviously going to sleep in. And when I finally got the time, I was like, I'm kind of liking it. It's coming in, and I tried the whole full beard thing, and I don't know, I didn't really like it. So I bought a trimmer from Walmart. It's a waterproof, shockproof. It's actually by LifeProof Case company, and that seems to work really well. So I can edge it all up and all of that. I will have to download that app, Orietta Stitches. I didn't think about that. That's actually a good idea there. I didn't know that they even had one. Thank you, Shelly Smith. And yes, Jax Low always pick sleep. Always. Well, I gotta figure out what color to go to next. How do you guys organize your flosses for your projects? I'm always on the hunt for new ideas. Right now, I use these Ziploc bags, and I have all my flosses in here. And then when I'm using the floss, I kind of mush together the number and then this little DMC small tag. And then any cut floss, I kind of just drape on the thing. Lets me know, even if there's not a cut floss, that I'm using this one, because like August Peridot Fairy calls for 6 skeins of 310 DMC. So I figured that, oh no, I lost. There we go. Sorry guys, it seemed like it kicked me off there for a moment. Anyway, I don't know where I left where you guys left off hearing me. But if I do it like this, it lets me know that I'm using it, because August Peridot Fairy calls for 6 skeins of 310. Well, I don't want to open a new skein every single time. I've tried the whole bobbinating, which it's fine for some of the projects. If you remember back from my first Flosstube video, I'm working on stocking that my grandmother made for me, but it was lost in a move a while ago, and I was able to find the pattern and everything, or not the pattern, the kit, because it was from the 80s, so it was a kit, and I ended up kitting it up myself, using different colors that were similar, but they're DMC, and then using a different fabric for it. But it took so long to bobbinate it and everything, and then this way I go out, I buy what I need. I don't have a stash of threads. I mean, Lord knows I will after I get some of these projects done. Let's see. See, I thought about doing a floss away bag with binder rings. So that's a really good idea. That's a really good idea, Cross Stitch Gal. So I might get those. That's correct, Bearded Stitcher. The floss organizers, I remember seeing them at Joann's when I was there buying. What was I getting? Oh, I got yarn. I'm making crocheting a baby blanket for my sister. Shoot. Hopefully she doesn't watch this. And as I always do, when I go to Joann's, I like to browse, well, any of the stores, Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby. I like to browse the cross-stitch section, as you always do. I did buy another one, and I don't know where I put it. It was a kit. It was kind of whimsical and weird, but I felt like I had to buy it. I'm sure my husband thinks differently, but could be worse, right? I mean, there's worse vices in the world. Mine just happens to be cross stitch, so oh well. What do you do? He is funny. He'll always comment how whenever I buy a new project or a new kit, he'll always comment, "When will that be done? In 2032?" It's like, really? Insert eye roll, right? It's like, I will get them done when I feel like getting them done. I kind of take the stance where I listen to my stitchy bug. If my stitchy bug is not wanting to stitch on anything that I currently have and decides that I need to go buy something else, then I will go buy something else, kit it up, work on it. My whole thought is stitchy bug rules. So rather than kill my stitchy bug by working on things, I figure let my stitchy bug rule. Let him or her make that decision for me. But I do hope to have August Peridot Fairy done by the end of the year. Um, just because she does work up really quick. He he's interested in it, but he's more of a analytical kind of thinker, and he's more of one project. Now he doesn't do cross stitching or anything like that, but any hobby that he partakes in, his mindset is one project at a time. You work on something, get it done. Work on something else, get it done. Whereas me, I'm all over the place, and it's not just with cross stitching. It's with my crocheting and everything. I let my creative outlet make its own decision. I burned myself out on crocheting by not listening to my crochet bug, if you will, and forced myself to stick through a project. Absolutely killed my bug on that. So I've learned not to listen to, or not to force myself to work on a project. I used to be, a few years ago, Jack's been on Ravelry. I haven't joined in a long time, um, so I don't even know what my login and I mean it was like God years ago probably, um, but I've thought about joining up. I've seen several people talk about Ravelry, and I just haven't been in a number of years. I completely agree, Northern Stitcher. They are like old friends. Um, when I put something away and then pull it out again, it's like time never passed between working on them. Um, I mean, I've got several unfinished things, as you all know. I have several. I mean, I think right now I have close to 10 active whips, and at least that many, um, what I would consider UFO'd. Um, it's not that I will never finish them. It's just I'm not working on them now, and I've put them away in a box. I agree, cross-stitched gal. It is supposed to be fun. It is a hobby. It's not like your job or something that, depends on the productivity. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be relaxing. And I can't remember who it was. I think it's McKenna. Every stitch counts. So whether you do one stitch, you do 20 stitches, or you do 2,000 stitches, every one of those stitches counts. So as long as you're having fun with it, that is all that matters, quite honestly. I do need to get a floor stand. That would make some of this really easy. I just haven't found one that I like that isn't an arm and a leg. I tried one out from Hobby Lobby, and it's the same one that I think Hobby Lobby and Michaels has. And it was just terrible. It was like a little lap stand that had legs on that sat on either side of your lap. I hated it. Hated it. It had a scroll frame thing, but it didn't get the tension that I like. So if you're wondering why I have binder clips, because I don't think anybody's ever asked, on Miss Peridot Fairy here, it, for me, helps keep my tension super taut. I like a really taut tension with my fabric. So it seems to work out in my opinion. But that scroll frame was just absolutely horrendous. I can't remember the brand. It came in a purple box, I want to say. And it was absolutely the worst thing I had ever tried. So I highly, highly, highly do not recommend it. Holy moly. 41 minutes. 43 minutes. Hopefully I'm not boring you guys. I'm just not talking. Just kind of throwing my stitches in here. Yes, I will save the stream. My plan is I'm going to put it in my Flosstube playlist, so you guys can watch it later, and anybody else that's interested and couldn't watch it can, because I know people are all in different time zones and people are working or at school or whatever. So yes, I will be saving that. I'm going to say Alana. Is that correct? Hopefully I didn't mess that up. But yes, it will be saved. And if you guys like this, please let me know, and maybe I will make this a regular thing. I don't know when I will do the streams. It was one of those things where I'm like, you know what, I feel like streaming, having some stitchy buddies come and talk with me, and we can all work on our stitching, and all of that. So next time I will keep my haul and all of that for a regular video, but I will be streaming again. I think it'll be fun. See, and that was me, Northern Stitcher. That I was terrified to live stream. But it was one of those things where I'm like, I want that like immediate interaction. I wanted to know that people were there and I could answer their questions immediately. Wanted to feel like I had friends, that we're all just sitting around stitching, having a cocktail, having coffee, having a soda, having water, having whatever it is that you're having, and just bitching, pardon my French. You are very welcome. That's why I wanted to keep the stream, because I do know there's several other countries, because it's almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon here. Let's see. Ooh, that's a good one. Most embarrassing moment. I would say, ooh, I've had so many embarrassing moments, but I think the most embarrassing one that I had just started a job at a call center, and I was going through the training, and we were in this training room in the call center, and I think it was Friday, and they always had a Dress for Success Friday. Every week you were supposed to dress nice, suit and tie and dress and heels and dress shoes, and I mean, you were just supposed to dress to the nines, almost like you were an executive or something. And I put on a pair of slacks that I hadn't worn in years, and I thought it would be fine. Well, turns out I went and sat down on my computer chair right before lunch, sat down on the computer chair and felt a huge ripping sensation. And I thought, oh Lord, did I break the chair? Like, is that even a thing? And when I reached under me, between my bottom and the chair, felt this huge hole. It was like at least 2 feet at that point. It went up, up one leg, down the other leg, ripped on the seam of the pants. And I swear I was dying from embarrassment. I took my suit jacket off, tied it around my waist. Luckily at the time I lived just like 10 minutes away, so on lunch break, I went home and changed my pants. But I would have to say that was the most embarrassing moment, because felt like I had to tell the trainer, hey, look, I ripped my pants, I'm going home on lunch. And that was so embarrassing. Cross stitch gal, it is possible. It's kind of weird. So YouTube is really weird in that you have to set up an encoding software, which sounds more technical than it is. It's actually pretty easy. So the one I would recommend is the open source broadcasting software, or OBS. It is completely free. It's available for Linux, Mac, and Windows. Completely free. You download that, you set it up, you put in your streaming keys. So on everybody's channel, when you click the live stream button, has an area that says live stream key. and you take that key and you put it into OBS when OBS asks for it. And once you do that, then in OBS you have to click stream, and then you have to tell it how to stream and what to stream, so you have to set up your webcam in there. And then once you do that, you press start stream, and it starts streaming it straight to YouTube, but you have to be on the stream now portion under live stream on YouTube. So it is a little technical, but it's fairly easy. There are numerous videos. I actually watched some of them on how to set that up. Let's see, Jax. I did stay with the job. I stayed there. Oh, how long was I there? I was there for about 2 years, a little over 2 years. And then I left. I was laid off. The company started changing things around. We were a third-party contracted company to do customer service for escalated customers for a very well-known company, and I'm not going to name names. And our job was to de-escalate the individuals, the customers, by providing them with excellent customer service. Well, we did such a great job that the parent company that we had the contract with decided that they no longer needed our services for that. Well, they didn't want to get rid of us, so they had another branch of their company that needed help with customer service. So they figured we did such a good job with the escalated clients, let's just move us over. Well, once we did that, they only needed, I think, about half of our work staff. So most of us got laid off. They laid off all of our bilinguals because they didn't need bilingual. So our entire bilingual department was let go, and then I was let go, which is fine. I say things always happen for a reason. It sucked at the time, obviously. Went through some money problems and could only find part-time jobs and things, but it was for the best, I think. So not too upset about it. From those part-time jobs, I ended up working full-time with a company, a small mom-and-pop kind of company, caring for adults with disabilities. I fell in love with the job, but I hated the company. I hated the little mom-and-pop operation. So my sister clued me into the place where she was working and had just finished her 1-year anniversary at, and told me to come on over, put in my app, let them know that she works there, so that way they didn't put us together, so we wouldn't have the risk of nepotism. And I've been now at that agency caring for adults with disabilities for almost 3 years. August 11th will be 3 years. It feels like a lot longer than that, not because of the company or the job or anything, because it's amazing, but because I know the individual so well, it feels like I've known them forever, if that makes any sense. So I'm happy where I'm at. So I truly believe everything happens for a reason. And sometimes we don't understand that reason at the time. I'll show you just a quick update of my progress here. So let's see, what do I need to do now? Completed that. I guess we need more of the two. Where did it go? There it is. So what is everybody up to? What is everybody doing? Thank you, Kim. Thank you. She is my pride and joy, my very first ever Mirabilia. So she's the baby. It'll be so exciting to get her done. I do like the Renaissance Mermaid. I've seen it. I don't have that one, but I have seen it and I think it's beautiful. I would love to work on her. So maybe sometime soon I will actually get her. But I think right now I need to put myself on a buying freeze. I keep buying all these patterns and everything, and I feel kind of weird because I think I'm up to episode 15 or something on my Flosstube videos, and I have yet to have a finish. My very first video I showed a couple of finishes, but aside from that, nothing. But the Renaissance Mermaid I think is beautiful, and I think she will be beautiful when you start working on her. Let's see, there we go. I guess I can show you the back of my work. I know some people show that. I'm kind of messy, but I'm of the mindset that I don't really care. As long as it doesn't affect the piece, to me it doesn't matter. It's not going to be judged. In my opinion, I don't think it'll be judged. I'm not entering it into any fairs or anything like that, so it's not like a professional judge will come along and say, oh, you have a messy back. If somebody wants to come to my house and take it out of the frame, we got problems, right? And I'm thinking with her, I'm going to have her professionally framed. I keep going back and forth on that. saying I'll do the framing myself, and then it's like, no, I want it professionally done. Yeah, I'm trying not to stress out about the finishes. Um, it's funny. It's one of those things. Several people that I watch, um, it's like almost every week they have a finish, and I'm like, really? Because I've got a new start. Like, depending on when I'm watching. Like when I started all of my Mirabilias all at once, I was watching somebody. I can't remember her YouTube, but she's like, I finished this, and I finished this, and I finished this, and I got this done, and this is FFO'd, and I'm like, I got 4 new starts. Like, and of course, all of my starts are the, bigger things. I tend to go for the bigger projects. Um, I don't know why. It's just, I guess, an obsession of mine, maybe. Um, but I think it's funny. Oh, Snow Queen is beautiful. I do believe it is a Mirabilia. Um, it could be just a regular Nora Corbett, but I think I'm like 98% positive without looking it up, that it is a Mirabilia. She is gorgeous. She is on my wish list on 123 Stitch, um, because I definitely want to do her. So that's a fantastic gift, for your Secret Santa. Um, did you guys exchange the gifts yet, or has that happened? What did they? What did your Secret Santa think? I personally, that's a fantastic gift. Um, she's a beautiful one. I've got her on my list, and then there were several others too. Well, thank you for stopping by, Jax. Oh, well, that is terrible. Sorry to hear that, Kim. I hate when things like that happen. I attempted to participate in, some different craft swaps and things, and it always seemed to happen that anybody I was partnered with for swaps and things either flaked or didn't really put the effort into it. And it just makes it, for those of us that put the effort and the energy and the time, um, into it, that it just makes it suck for us, to be quite frank. Well, I'm glad she liked it. Um, Snow Queen is an amazing piece. Oh wow. I didn't even know that 123 Stitch did that. Huh. I'll have to check into that because I had no idea. See, I'm still learning a lot of these things. I've bought from 123 Stitch for forever, really. Oh wow. Well, welcome back, Orietta. I'm in Missouri, in Kansas City, in the States, and it is 1:10 right now. So it's in the afternoon. I'm getting hungry for lunch, but well, that's all good. I figure I needed to get some stitching done and wanted to try out this whole live streaming business. I think I'm gonna have to go over there and participate in that, Kim. My two favorite holidays are Christmas and Halloween. I absolutely love Halloween. I have not purchased any more bags. I want to. I always want to. Um, I do use them from time to time. So, I mean, my last two were the Birkin look-alike, and then the Fendi that I saved from the thrift store, and then, of course, the Coach. The Coach one, the black Coach one, I use the most. The Fendi I don't use. I probably could and probably should, but I'm afraid because it is vintage that something will happen to it, which sounds so first world problem. You know, it's a bag. It's meant to be used and whatever. The one I use all the time is the blue Coach one, and that's what I consider my work bag. I use that to go to and from work all the time. And then the small black Coach one I use a lot when I'm just going out, um, going out on the town, out to dinner, all that kind of stuff. I need to get a new wallet, is what I need to do. Yeah, I'm kind of weird. I like breakfast, but I don't like eating it at breakfast time, if that makes sense. Um, Most of the time, I skip breakfast. I probably shouldn't, but I'm never hungry when I wake up. Um, I'm usually never hungry until lunchtime. Um, Excuse me, and then lunchtime I'm hungry, which is weird because, like, when I'm at work or when I'm going to work, um, I'm not hungry for lunch, um, which is just, I don't know, super weird. But uh, one of the ladies I care for, she scolds me every day. She I go and pick her up from her day service, and she'll ask me, "Did you eat lunch today?" And if I say no, she's like, "Shame on you." It's like, I know, shame on me. Because, like, when I work, my normal hours are 3 p.m. to midnight. So I'll usually be waking up around lunchtime, you know, so 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And then get up and going and all of that. So lunch is more like a breakfast. So then dinner becomes my lunch. And then sometimes I'll eat something when I get home from work. And breakfast for dinner is the best. I agree, Shelley. Breakfast for dinner, I mean, there's like nothing better, in my opinion. Although, I will have to say grilled cheese is up there on my list. Oh, that's so exciting. What did you order, Shelley? 123 Stitch is my absolute favorite. It's my go-to. Oh, I love frosted pumpkin. And I love Lizzie Kate's. I've never done any frosted pumpkin or Lizzie Kate's. I've looked at the patterns of those, but I love frosted pumpkin. And then you can never go wrong with a Q-snap. I've got probably 5 of this size, which I think are the 11 by 11 Q-snaps. I think I only have 2 8 by 8s because those tend to be on the smaller side. And then I've got one that's 11 by 16 or something. I'm not sure. Halloween Town. See, I need to do some Halloween stuff, which is why I bought the Halloween just cross stitch. Yes, the 11 by 11 are my absolute go-to. I've got it here on August Peridot Fairy. Ooh. And then the Rose of Sharon, I have the 11 by 11 as well. And then I don't remember where my other 11 by 11s are, who they're on. These are just the 2 that I keep in my work bag. I have a WIP bag that I take to work because it's patterns and things that I work on at work. I work on them at home too, but I like to have them in that bag so I can tote them to and from work. I agree that 8 by 8 is really, 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 really small. It doesn't sound like it would be, but it is. And for whatever reason, the 11 by 11 just makes all the difference. What's this? Oh, my Prairie Schooler Who's There is in an 8 by 8. I think that's an 8 by 8. And it seems to be the perfect size for that, but it is kind of tedious to work on. There's that. So it is very heavy. It is. They have some heft, which is why I really want to get a floor stand or a lap stand that I can put a Q-snap in. So I can sit here and work on it and all of that, because it does get heavy, and after a while, it's just too, I don't know, cumbersome. I've never tried an 8 by 11. I've wanted to, but I've never tried it. I've got an 11 by, what is it, 11 by 16, I think. And that one's great, but it's so weird looking. Not looking, but so weird to kind of maneuver. Um, and it's also, it gets really heavy. Um, the 11 by 11 is the one that I can stand the most. It's kind of weird because if it feels like it's getting too heavy, it's big enough I can rest it against my chest and just hold it in place with one hand and stitch. So usually when I'm doing that, I stitch from the side. So there's the front and the top. So I put it right here, and the top is here and the side's there. So then I can easily stitch like this and hold it against me and not feel like I'm holding it for too long. How do you like that stand? I've heard people talk about it, um, and I didn't know if it was good or not. People keep blowing up my phone. Alrighty, well, I think it's time for me to go get something to eat. It was fantastic stitching and talking with each of you, and I will hopefully do this again. So I'll talk to you all later. Happy stitching.